speaks Russian, and nobody can help him. You need a Russian interpreter here to calm him down. We've got a cafe coming in 5 minutes. You're going to have to drink with a Russian interpreter. No, I'm saying you're going to have to bring the people to the cafe. He's right inside here. He speaks Russian. Right on the other side of the door, he speaks Russian. He does not bring breaking out, and okay. So he's Are you, sir? No, but he speaks Russian, and that's it. No English.
That was a video clip of an incident that happened 6 years ago at Vancouver International Airport, involving 4 RCMP officers and a Polish man named Robert Dziekanski. Would one of you mind explaining what happened that day?
We got a call from the airport about a disturbance in the customs hall of the airport, so we went to the customs hall to check on the situation.
As soon as we arrived on the scene, it was clear that Dziekanski was agitated and the situation needed to be under control. We tried to calm him down, but he was still very worked up, so we were ordered to tase him.
So you gave the order to tase Dziekanski in the first place, and in the video it appeared that Dziekanski was cooperating, and you only waited 25 seconds after entering the scene to tasing him. Do you feel that this was a necessary action?
Well, it was obvious that Dziekanski needed to be contained. I've been in situations like this before, and we tried to negotiate for a long time, and it turned out ugly, so I guess we just decided 25 seconds was long enough, and we had to tase him. And that's how it went down.
So how many times did you end up tasing him in total?
Well, if I can remember correctly, the taser was fired 5 times, but I'm not sure if the 5th one actually made contact.
And what happened after the last tase was shot?
Dziekanski had stopped breathing and had died.
As you must know, tasing is done to immobilize people, which was clearly done after the first shot. Do you think you went too far?
Of course, it is clear that we made a huge mistake. We were just doing our job and things got out of control.
After speaking with the 3 RCMP officers, I took the time to interview Dr. Smith, an expert on organizational behavior from Acadia University. Dr. Smith, thank you for speaking with me today. So I understand that you have done a lot of research on the Dziekanski case. Is that correct?
Thank you for having me, and yes, I have analyzed the case from an organizational behavior perspective and had made many connections between the situation and failure of the RCMP officers. One conclusion that I have made was the RCMP officers lacked emotional intelligence.
Would you mind explaining more about this emotional intelligence?
Well, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand emotions and interpret them on how to react. The greater emotional intelligence a person has, the better they are at dealing with emotional strain and dealing with emotional sensitive situations. Once RCMP officers deal with highly stressful and emotional situations, you would think they should be trained in emotional intelligence.
So do you think if the RCMP officers in this case were more emotionally intelligent, they would have handled the situation much differently?
Yes, it was clear in the video that Dziekanski was under a lot of emotional strain, and if the RCMP officers were able to identify and deal with his emotions properly, the situation would have gone much differently.
Did you find any other factors in your research that would have affected the incident?
I did. The RCMP officers are conditioned to react a certain way in certain situations. They were trained to view Dziekanski as a threat because he was unable to comply with orders, which they were conditioned to use force to contain him. The RCMP officers were not properly conditioned on how to handle this sort of situation and were not trained well enough in the dangers of using tasers. The RCMP officers could also have been victims of alienation, where they are conditioned not to question authority and do what is ordered of them without judgment.
I'm sure that puts things into perspective for a lot of people. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Thank you for having me.